have one. So, dreams, vision, and giveaway. We've got a beautiful giveaway coming up towards the later part of this video, in a beautiful collaboration with my dear friend Elaine from Pure Ground Flowers. You will find links within this video to Pure Ground Flowers, Elaine's Instagram, and also her SD shop. But we've got some absolutely stunning giveaways lined up. We've got an array of beautiful handcrafted, really stunning tools to really support you, help you navigate these times. You know, these are tools, and they are individually handcrafted and made with a huge amount of heart. You know, I have many of Elaine's tools around me that I use within my own spiritual practice, and I have traditionally used them at those kind of doorways, cycles of time, i.e. the new and full moon, the Sabbats, the wheel of the year, winter solstice, Imbolc, which is the beginning of spring, moving towards Ostera, which is Easter, moving towards Beltane, which is the beginning of May. You know, they're kind of, they're gateways of time, and I think that we're living in a time like no other right now. And I know that these tools, especially the sage, and I've got some burning next to me right now, and it is absolutely just gently purifying the space. And it's something that I have done, but I'm doing more frequently every few days. There's so much kind of movement at the moment with everything that's going on, and what I find, it just kind of helps you come back to center. And I think that for so many of us, we're kind of moving with a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion, and what it does is just kind of energetically and spiritually just kind of lighten. You know, there's a lot moving, there's a lot releasing, there's a lot kind of coming up, there's a lot that we together collectively and individually are processing at this time. So these things can really help. But here's the thing that I wanted to share with you, and then we'll kind of weave that beautiful, I mean, look at these, just beautiful, wonderful tools. One of the things that I've kind of really recognized at this time, but also kind of linking it to an experience that I had last May time, is the importance of your daydreams, your dreams, and those kind of visions, those experiences you have. And I think especially at this time, you know, the world has quietened down. You know, I haven't heard an aircraft in weeks. There is less traffic, there is less noise. It's like sitting here right now, and I'm not sure if you can hear it in the video, I've just got the ticking of the clock. And I remember when that clock come into my world, and for years I'd seen it sitting on the mantelpiece, yet it literally physically wasn't there. And then when it come into my world was Spirit. I remember Spirit saying along the lines of, when it's the right time, the right things appear. And again, that was a kind of daydream. I'd look over at the mantelpiece and I'd see this old-fashioned mantle clock. And then many years later, by chance, I'm giving a huge amount of books and records and things that I no longer use, and clothes and all sorts of things, to this charity shop, and look over and there it's sitting there. Now, dreams and visions. I had an experience, and some of you know this. I had an experience last May time where I woke up and there was a presence sitting there, standing there in the doorway of my bedroom. And I always know that when spirit appear first thing in the morning, or presence appears first thing in the morning, it's important because they don't want me to miss it. And I think that, you know, for many years now, you know, spirit have said, you know, the world's so noisy, everyone's very rushed and very hurried, that they've got to kind of cut through all that noise. And I think right now the world is quieter. We've slowed down. You may still be busy with little ones and all the things that you kind of got to kind of juggle in your world, and maybe you're working from home as well as you've got the little ones around. But I think, you know, predominantly we are inside more often. We've kind of been moved inwardly. That those experiences can almost kind of leap, you know, there can be more intensity, or you'll notice them a lot more than you previously did, because as Spirit said, you know, everybody's rushed and hurried. For us to make contact, we've got to work a lot harder, and one of the ways that they do is, and I've said this many a time in my talks and some of my videos, is they hover, almost linger around doorways, passageways, hallways, and they're transitional spaces. So they're spaces that we move through. And, you know, no matter where you are sitting watching this right now, you're probably very aware of your doorway. Subconsciously, we're aware of those doorways. They're transitional spaces. You know, it's a bit like you go to walk up the stairs at night, you walk into a hallway, and there's a part of you that is already sensing what's ahead of you. The light's off. You go to turn the light on and you feel that there's someone at the top of the stairs, you know, and that's not to frighten you. It's not to unnerve you. It's to absolutely grab hold of your attention, you know. They're wanting to show you that they are there and they're making contact. Well, right now, everything is a lot quieter. We are generally moving a lot more slower. And you know, there's so much pain that's happening in parallel to this for all number of reasons, as well as the losses that are happening. And I think that in a way we've got to kind of do right by all of that by grabbing hold of this odd, strange, surreal opportunity that maybe once in a lifetime that you are able to slow down at the level that you can right now, which means in a way we're kind of turning some goodness in a very traumatic crisis for many people, and if we can kind of grab hold of that, then we have a rare opportunity to really connect with ourselves. And I think that, you know, when I look back at that experience I had last May, where I woke up and there was that presence, and I heard my name called very clearly, and it grabbed my attention because it was the tone. The tone was shame, and then there was silence, as if they were calling my name. And then there was this sense of, you know, you've grown many things in this life, you've touched many lives, but now it's time to grow a garden. How important was that as I look back to where we stand right now. You know, it's not that we will have major shortages. We're certainly going to see an increase in price. I use a veg box scheme that supplements what I grow, and we're in that gap right now where, you know, what we've had and what's arriving's not there. You know, it's a lean few months, and I use that veg box scheme to supplement, and they have already had to minimalise their boxes and minimalise the variety and choice because of the demand is so high. Um, so it is becoming leaner, and you know, here in the UK, we've got huge amount of demand for the produce and not able to have the labour force out on the land to be able to grow it, look after it, pick it, pack it, which means that there's going to be a price increase. It's going to catch up with us. So growing my own food, you know, when I look back, that was powerful and profound. Profound message. And then as I move through time, you know, it all makes sense. And it was 3 weeks after that experience that I had my own kitchen garden, and I've learnt so much. Been humbly taught, going back by my dad, and now I'm having to stand on my own 2 feet and, you know, feel for it, learn, ask questions, reach out, pick up the phone. But I'm having to kind of do all this by myself, even though there's a wonderful community around me, but we're all working from a distance. You know, it's changed. And as we move through time, there's a couple of other visions and dreams that I want to share with you. The other one was recently on the 4th of April, and it was the morning of the global meditation, and I'd woke up at just before 3:30. The meditation was 3:45 a.m. and I was sitting there and I was meditating, and I was kind of lit a candle, and I was holding that intention of that kind of space of just wanting to hold that light. And then I become aware of 2 presences by a doorway, and there were 2 departed friends, 2 very, very dear friends in my world. One of them was Ivan. I've mentioned Ivan before in a previous video. That was a mentor, incredible teacher to me, and a very loose way was he a teacher. He was somebody that would have a conversation with you and just teach you so much within that conversation. And every question you asked him, he would answer a question with a question, and something spirit of really enhanced in what I do and the way that I work is quite often is an answer is a question that invokes you to go in and kind of feel for it, which I think is another element of this time, is, you know, how important it is to turn inwardly. You know, this is a once in a lifetime global pause. Spirit call it, the innate call it, a cosmic pause that's like no other. And so much can evolve and grow. So much can be done differently, and so much can be done not differently. You know, if the doors fly open and everybody carries on to how we were all living previously, then what a waste, you know. Which is why I'm really getting to grips with growing more, learning how to take the seeds from the vegetables and the fruit and dry those seeds, so you become a little bit more self-sufficient even with the seeds. You know, these are opportunities that you may not ever get again in a huge amount of crisis and trauma. For many reasons, there's a lot of trauma. But you know, there was this sense of those two people standing there. So one being Ivan, an incredible guy, as I say. He would get you to go in. He would, over a conversation, nurture so much growth. Incredible mentor, without you realising you're being mentored. And then a dear friend called Mick, and they were both druids and followed a druidic path, as I have within my lifetime, initiated into the Ovatic grade of the druid tradition. And the Ovate is a seer. Made sense that that's where I found myself, within the Ovatic grove. Seer, and looking beyond looking beyond the seen into the unseen, moving through the hedge, so to speak. And they both appeared, and there was this sense of, I'm not sure which one of them it was now, and it may have been Ivan, because he was the older, and the elder, that's exactly what it was, carrying a shawl with what was a baby girl, and it was a girl, and gestured this baby girl, and told me within this meditation, within this vision, there was a sense of words, feeling and knowing that this was a baby girl, and she was known as Eden, and they were gesturing me Eden. And I got the feeling within that vision that what I was experiencing was the birth, potentially, of a whole new world. Because, you know, Eden is a feeling of Eden, feeling of Gaia, feeling of the earth, feeling of everything that is. And I remember saying, you know, winter solstice, that, you know, there's a big change coming, and out of the shell of the old, a new world will be born. And I even blogged that. I wrote that on some of my posts within Instagram at the time. And there was this feeling that, you know, from the shell of the old, a new world was to be born. And I remember saying to people, hold on tight, so much change is coming. And I had good friends saying very, very similar as well. It's so wonderful, this sage burning. She's burning in my mini cauldron. There was another beautiful gift. And there she is, burning away and just filling the space. And she's burning by herself, because normally they sort of go out after a while. Incredible. And the blanket shawl she was wrapped in, it turned gold, and there was this golden fabric that run through this blanket and this shawl, and I got a real sense of, actually, that is the many thousands of people that were meditating at that time, enveloping the world in golden light. A beautiful vision. And there's been a couple others along the way. Another quick one was in January. I went to see my rheumatologist. Many of you know my story, and I had this dream of walking into his office, and it was a real experience I'd had years before, but this was a dream, walking into his office, and he asked me about my medication. And I remember, I'm not a doctor, but he asked me about my medication, and said, what medication you on? I went, I'm on none. And actually, at the time, I was on a very low dose of anti-inflammatory. Years before that, I was on a immune suppressor. ankylosing spondylitis is the condition that I've worked with in my world, in my life. I had it since in my 20s. Now I'm coming on for 47, so a fair time. And I'd come off it. I made the decision that is not the way that I wanted to go, but I remained on these anti-inflammatories, come off them, and then there was a rough time physically and lots going on, and I kind of naturally went back to them. In January, I had this dream, and I walk into his office in the dream, and he asked me, and I say, I'm just going to move that smudge. Let's let that over there. Beautiful. I'm on none, and as I'm waking up, my grandmother says to me, ginger. I researched ginger. Ginger is a natural anti-inflammatory, and I researched turmeric, and I made the decision I move on to them. And what was funny, the week before, the virus come into the world and come over to the UK is someone I know very well, known for a long time, who's actually a GP, contacted me and said, we've had a Medi alert, and in this alert informing our patients at our surgery, if anyone is on anti-inflammatories, potentially that may not be a good thing. And I thought, my gosh, I was nudged to come off these in January. And then you've got to ask yourself is how and why. And it shows you how guided we are. You look about the dream I had last May. It's time to grow a garden. January, ginger. Come off the medication, still off it. And actually I feel a million times better than when I was on it. And treating it through herbs and diet and ginger and turmeric and lots of incredible amount of nutrition and vegetables and fruit. It's just amazing. And then yesterday I'm working away down at the Bothy, working away in the kitchen garden. And I'm digging away, and I'm really really pleased with the last week, how that's all kind of just fallen into place. A polytunnel going up, and I'm working away, and I can feel the sunshine on my face, and I can hear the bird song. I gently close my eyes, and as I do, I could sense this presence and this feeling of deep warmth and love and care. And it was a young girl standing there. And there was this feeling of exchange between us, and it was this sense that it was Eden. But she's grown. And I could feel this real deep feeling of warmth and care. And she had called me the gardener. And there was this real kind of feeling of hope and light and love and nourishment. And her words were, we once told you to grow a garden, and together you have grown a garden. Continue to trust the plan. Now, what's really strange about that is I had this dream again in the early days of all this happening, this global crisis happening. And in my dream, I'm sitting at the Bothy, and I'm looking up at the sky, and day turns to night, night turns to day, day turns to night, night turns to day, and this is just a sense of revolution of the cycles. And then there's this sense of spring goes to summer, summer goes to autumn, autumn goes to winter, and winter goes back to spring and then goes back to summer. So just over a year from now. And all the time I'm kind of looking, I'm seeing the moon rise and set, the sun rise and set, clouds move, stars appear. You imagine all this movement, but I feel like I'm suspended in time and space, as if all this is moving. The earth is rotating, and yet I'm just kind of held in suspension. And it was incredible feeling in the dream, like these time lapsed films. It was something like that. It was incredible. And then this gentleman appears, and he's got white hair and white beard, and there's this really warm, familiar feeling. I wrote about this recently on my Instagram. And it's like I knew him and I recognised him, but I don't consciously know him. And he says to me, "It's okay now, it's time." And we start walking along the track back up to the 5-bar gate. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, I often say life beyond the 5-bar gate. And we start moving along the trackway, and we're walking side by side, and he just rests his hand on my shoulder, and it's a really warm touch. Feeling of deep love and reassurance. It's just a lovely feeling. And move up towards the gate, and as we do, I look out and there's these bikes going past, but everybody's on old-fashioned bikes, wearing vintage clothing. The bikes are vintage, there's baskets on the bikes, and the girls, ladies that go by and the guys that go by, all kind of vintage clothing, vintage hairstyles, almost like the 50s and maybe mid-40s. And we open the gate, and as we do, I take this deep breath, and as I take that deep breath, I can hear this jazz music playing. I look over, and there's bunting, and there's people all gathered together. It's like a street party, but it's on this cricket ground, on this cricket field. And I look over and I can see all generations of people, and that was really important to me. I could see all generations of people, see children playing, I see my own little one playing. The children are playing with wooden toys. The boys have got wooden airplanes and cars. They're wooden, and the girls have got dolls and dollies. And the older generation are sitting there in like deck chairs, and they're absorbing the atmosphere, and everybody's celebrating. And then suddenly this lady appears in a polka dot dress, wearing Wellington boots, and says to me, there you are, lovely. How are our parsnips growing? Really cheekily. It was really funny. There was this cheeky banter. But she had Wellington boots on with this polka dot dress on. And I don't know her. I'm sure I don't know her. I've not met her. I'm sure of it. I don't know. And she gives me a kiss. And we then walk and join the party. It was an incredible dream that was so vivid and clear, and it just gave me a sense of that everything is absolutely going to be okay, and in a way that if we kind of or I unravel that, you know, there's this sense of time that needs to pass, and that we're going to come out the other side of it. But maybe, you know, the wooden toys is maybe we're going to reevaluate and revalue things in the world. We're going to value that maybe, you know, in a way we kind of go back to go forwards. Maybe we go back to basics. Maybe we go back to re-evaluating what holds value. And right now, you know, is what can you know, what is it that we really need? You know, is that sense of food and localized systems and sharing and community. There's so much you can take from it. And then this lady appearing, and it's like, so how are parsnips growing? You know, it was funny. These dreams and visions, you know, when we piece them together, there can be a story. So kind of encouraging people to kind of listen to that deep knowing inside, and, you know, maybe take a moment now and just kind of gently close your eyes and let a word arrive, let a word come. You know, I think that we're being called to listen very deeply at this time, and it is an absolute opportunity to forge a different relationship to self and the world around us. You know, some of the community that I am blessed to be a part of, you know, from a distance, a couple of days ago, as we're all working away on our strips of land that we're blessed to work in, our kitchen gardens, and they were saying, you know, that the concerns that some of them had about the way that, you know, humanity was moving, you know, this sense of everyone being able to connect very, very quickly and fast, yet we were becoming really disconnected. You know, how many times you walk past a cafe or restaurant and you just see people just scrolling, sitting together, but all they're doing is scrolling down their phone. I'm sure the other side of this, we won't want to do that maybe so quickly, and I hope that we never forget the lessons of this time, the nuggets that we can take from it, especially with the amount of loss that we're seeing and the amount of kind of trauma that we are seeing. You know, connection, I hope we never ever take that for granted moving forwards. And where I feel we may have a long way to go yet. You know, if the clues of the dream are kind of anything to go by, then it could be a longer journey. But yet so much can happen in the next couple of months. So much happened in the last couple of months. Go back to December, you wouldn't have believed that this is where we would find ourselves, almost like science fiction. I hope that stirred up some thought. Now, beautiful, beautiful giveaway, okay? And this, just going to give that a tap. I'm going to bring it over. This, shame you can't smell it, maybe in the future. This is beautiful, and the whole of my space is just cut, which is why I gently moved it, is covered in smudge and sage. But I would say this is an incredible thing to do in the mornings as you wake up, as you prepare your day, or you kind of very busy with little ones, maybe in the evening as you end your day. You know, light some candles. I've got some candles lit now, even though it's daytime, and light some sage, and every few days it's just kind of, you know, gently smudge the space that you're in. It's going to lighten, it's going to keep those energies and those vibrations high. Sage yourself and your environment. This is beautiful. You know, use, as Elaine says, you know, use a shell. Take care when you're burning it. As I say, all links are in the video. But the giveaway, here's the thing: what we've got to give away, wonderful dear people, is some beautiful sage sticks. Okay, some beautiful, beautiful sage sticks. And I'm kind of, you know, I'm going to be able to give away 4 alongside these beautiful smudging feathers. Okay, these beautiful smudging feathers. And alongside algaes. Elaine has beautifully woven these together. And these are rose stems. And you think about this, the algaes, which is on my horn, which is sitting next to me as well, is the rune of protection. Okay, so golden light, highly protective, which is interesting, isn't it? Think back of my vision in my meditation of young Eden being wrapped in a golden blanket. But you think about rose thorns, they are highly protective. This is very powerful magic, very powerful intention. So alongside these beautiful smudging feathers with these beautiful sage sticks. And if Mary, you're watching, we need to find you, Mary. We have a wonderful, wonderful feather fan that Elaine has handcrafted and woven together for you. Look how beautiful that is. What generous gifts and giveaway. That's the thing about our dear Elaine. She is all about nourishing and nurturing people. Incredible florist by trade, and through her spiritual journey she's been crafting these most amazing tools. And for somebody incredibly blessed, there will be this giant feather fan. And for Mary, feather fan, Mary was on one of my live streams some time ago and had lost her daughter, and it naturally, organically just moved, the whole room, the whole energy moved into her space, and this experience of her daughter coming through. And also there's a sage stick there for you, Mary. So beautiful, unique package and gift giveaway. This can be placed in your central space, wherever you feel. Maybe somewhere that you can connect with it each day as you sage and smudge yourself and your aura as well. The environment around you, you know, we're going to be spending a lot of time inwardly in our homes, and I think it is an opportunity for us to reconnect with our homes. And these ancient herbs, you know, this is woven with rose petals, which talk about love, you know. It's allow that hearth, that home again, to become loved and reconnected. How many of us were spending so much time outside of our homes just to get through, and now we are back in our homes. It's a chance of reconnecting that relationship to home, to family, to ourselves, to each other, to our environments. Rose petals. Okay, think about the symbolic action woven into these beautiful, beautiful sticks of algaes and the feather. So what I would love for you guys to participate is, I want you to jump on Elaine's Instagram. I want you to go and say hello. And follow the page. I also want you to share Elaine's page, and also to jump on my Instagram, which is shane.gad as well, and say hi and say hello, and follow the page if you're not already. Then what I'd like you guys to do, and here's the bit, it's a bit like Ivan, you know, getting you to answer a question with a question is, what guidance or offering, can you give to the world around you? What advice and offering could you give as a nugget of wisdom, as some advice to help people navigate these times? What is your tips? What is your wisdom? What is your golden nugget that you can offer to help people navigate these times? And comment below in this video, and then it can become a place of inspiration, a kind of well of wisdom that people can just kind of tap into and think, gosh, yes, what is it as well? So 2 questions. What is it that you can offer as words of wisdom to others to help them navigate this time? And the other important one is, what have you learned from this experience? What are you learning from this experience? What teaching can you extract from this experience? What is it teaching you? And that is going to be beautiful. And then in 2 weeks' time, I will get Elaine to look through and choose those stories, 4 stories that are really jumping out at her. And then we will contact you guys and we will get these beautiful giveaways. So there'll be 5 giveaways. Those 5 stories, sorry, we will find and discover those 5 stories. And get those giveaways sent out to you. If you are overseas, it may take some time. I don't know what's going on with overseas mail, but we will make sure these somehow get sent out to you when that is all moving. If you're in the UK, you'll get it probably in normal time. Royal Mail are doing an incredible job. So, 2 things. What golden nuggets of wisdom can you offer others to navigate these times? What are you learning? What is it taught you? What is it teaching you? Jump on Instagram, go and say hello to Pure Ground Flowers, Elaine, follow her page, jump onto my Instagram, Shane Gadd, say hi and follow the page if you're not already. Really look forward to reading those stories and those nuggets of wisdom. And then 2 weeks from now, we will get Elaine to choose those 5 giveaways. In the meantime, guys, keep shining. A little bit of a longer video, but I felt it needed to be. And yeah, that sage is still burning away. Still burning away. It is absolutely beautiful. And this space is going to be zinging with energy, high vibrational, once this cloud of sage has gently just kind of moved into the fabric of things. Keep shining, guys. Remember, just keep listening. Be open to those dreams, those visions, those daydreams, because within there can be such a story, like Eden, like It's Time to Grow a Garden, like Ginger. They're powerful for me, all of those things, and the dream of the seasons turning and the old man and then that lady appearing in the Wellington boots, how our parsnips growing. All of those experiences, there's so much in there. They're rich and full of fabric and substance. And for me, all of that information is pretty life-changing. It's incredible. We are guided. Keep shining. Speak soon.